So the Chiefs finally did the right thing by releasing a player who's facing multiple legal issues at the moment, with the most recent alleged charges causing ties to be severed. And in this video, I'll dive more into that situation and why I'm glad he's gone. Kelce performing in front of 90,000 fans in London, a bold take on an underrated cornerback who could earn the starting role alongside Trent McDuffie, and more. But first, how about those? Alright, first up in some news I never thought I'd find myself talking about is Travis Kelce had his full circle moment over the weekend. The man went from being denied backstage access at a Taylor Swift concert that took place at Arrowhead back in July of 2023, basically a year ago, to performing on stage with her during one of her shows in London on Sunday. I'm not really here to follow and report on every little intricate detail of Travis Kelce and his love life by any means, but I did find it pretty cool to see him surprising 90,000 people at Wembley Stadium when he took the stage in place of one of Taylor Swift's backup dancers, helping to pick her up and get her ready for another song. And some of the best responses to this that I saw online were Travis Kelce goes for 1 carry for 4 yards on the evening. That one was good, but check out this one. Travis Kelce has made history, carrying the Lombardi Trophy and the music industry in the same year. Then my favorite, Kent Swanson of KCSN shared this meme of Kelce carrying Taylor Swift, saying Kelce was Mahomes and what he had to do with the wide receiver room last year. Pretty savage, but a great use of this photo. Anyway, of course, with this being peak off-season right now as we await training camp, this was picked up everywhere, talked about by everyone, and will undoubtedly annoy/trigger some of the sensitive, but too bad, so sad for you. Next up, the Chiefs did indeed finally make the right decision today by releasing defensive lineman Isaiah Buggs, who at the time of me recording this video today at around 3 p.m. Central is actually still in jail, according to reports. The quick summary of this situation and how we even got here is this. Isaiah Buggs spent the end of last season on the Chiefs practice squad, then signed a futures deal with the team back in January. But since then, he's had multiple run-ins with the police, a couple of them involving his hookah business. Then at the end of May, Buggs was arrested in an alleged animal cruelty case when 2 malnourished dogs were found at a property that was in his name. Buggs, however, maintained his innocence with these initial instances, claiming the city was basically out to get him because they wanted his business shut down. However, the most recent arrest last week was too much for the Chiefs to keep him around for, and here's what happened. The most recent charges were allegedly involving domestic violence and burglary. TMZ obtained a court document that revealed Buggs allegedly broke into the house belonging to the mother of his child around 5:28 a.m. 2 Sunday mornings ago, using a tire iron to get in. He then proceeded to, again, allegedly dragged this lady down a set of stairs, injuring her. She then obviously said she was going to call the police. Buggs left and was arrested in a nearby parking lot. Then an update, an article from ESPN Today reported he is currently still in the Tuscaloosa County Jail after being booked last Monday due to his bail being revoked. I think he made bond on Sunday and then had to go back in there, I believe, and has still been in there for about a week. During this time, people were wondering, are the Chiefs going to let this man go? Or are they going to let the legal process play out first? I was more in the camp of, in this situation, probably best to let him go as soon as possible. I understand it's innocent until proven guilty, but due to this being multiple arrests and the seriousness of what was being alleged, I thought it best to just cut ties completely and move on. Whether you agree or disagree with that, the Chiefs did end up moving on from him. Tom Pelissero reported today the Chiefs have informed defensive lineman Isaiah Buggs they're releasing him per source. He then noted the obvious that Buggs currently has bigger issues to worry about than football, as he currently still sits in jail. And while I agree, all I gotta say is good riddance. This has been quite the eventful offseason, with 4 players being arrested. Rashee Rice for the car crash incident, he did have to report in and made bail and all that stuff. Then Wanya Morris and Jason Godric for marijuana possession. They were arrested in Kansas a few weeks ago. Then, of course, finally, Isaiah Buggs. Out of these 4 people, Buggs does look like he's the only one that's going to get the axe, and I honestly can't wait for the season to start so these players can focus on just playing the game of football and not screwing things up off the field. I mean, obviously, things can still happen during the season. See Justin Ross last year, for example, but I think the odds go up prior to locking in for the season. Regardless, These guys need to make better decisions when away from the team, though I will still argue that being arrested for marijuana possession in 2024 is insane. Hopefully, though, this is the last off-the-field incident for the team this year, and the only other legal updates I have to cover on this channel are simply updates from cases that are currently still ongoing. And then I have some more info for you that proves the Chiefs are a very well-ran organization from top to bottom, in case you needed more proof while the team is currently in the midst of a dynasty, but still, here's more. If you look at every team in the NFL and how much dead cap they have this year, there are some glorious names that I love to see at the top of this list, and then a name I really love to see right near the very bottom. But before I get to that, dead money refers to salary cap space allocated to a player no longer on a team's roster, with it being a specific cap charge tied to a player who has since been traded, released, or retired. This most often results from signing bonus money accelerating onto a club's salary cap. And with that being said, at the top of this list is the Denver Broncos, carrying a whopping $67.6 million in dead money, mainly due to that atrocious Russell Wilson contract. I love it so much. Next up is actually the Buffalo Bills at $61.2 million, which is a little surprising, but makes more sense when you consider they've been all in for a while now in an attempt to beat Kansas City in the playoffs and simply cannot get it done. Then when you combine that with the fact that Stephon Diggs has a ton of dead cap getting traded to the Texans, that's a big ol' yikes for the Buffalo Bills. Then in third are the Vikings, fourth are the Bucks, and fifth is yet another one of my favorites, another AFC West opponent in the LA Chargers. J.C. Jackson literally robbed this team nearly at gunpoint like Chiefsaholic to the average bank. I mean, it is so bad, but hey, not really complaining at all, considering it only makes the Chiefs look that much better. Then if you look at the bottom of this list, the bottom three teams who are carrying the least amount of dead cap are the Falcons with $6.1 million, the Chiefs with $6 million, and finally the Rams at just $4.1 million. Brett Veach is handling things pretty well at the moment, with proof staring you right in the eyeballs. MVS is responsible for $2 million of that dead money, and then the rest outside of Chris Jones are pretty insignificant numbers. All in all, the Chiefs are looking in good shape as they prepare for the ever-elusive three-peat. One position group that many are curious about in the team's quest to win 3 in a row is the cornerback position, with Sneed getting traded to the Titans. The question is, who will fit in for Sneed's role now? Well, it probably will never be just one person directly, but KC will try their best to make things work without him. McDuffie is obviously a certified lock to start, but what about the other spot? Jalen Watson, Joshua Williams, those two will definitely be in the mix, but Pete Sweeney of Arrowhead Pride shared one of his bold predictions, and that is defensive back Nazeeh Johnson will actually end up beating the rest out and earning the starting cornerback role opposite McDuffie. He says this: thinking back to last year's camp, it appeared that 2022 7th rounder Nazeeh Johnson was set to win the outside cornerback role in the nickel package before tearing his ACL. Now he enters camp fully healthy. That can always be a question, but if that is truly the case, Sweeney then says, I like him over Williams and Watson. Well, if you know anything about me, I am also a big Nazeeh Johnson fan over here. He's healing up nicely from that ACL tear and surgery, and at mandatory minicamp found himself working back in with the first team defense. And if he continues to heal up nicely and have no setbacks, he could very well indeed be in the running for that starting corner role opposite McDuffie. Remember, this man boasted a 9.09 RAS and ran a 4.38 40, and with Nazeeh taking no days off, per my interview with him, he said, I never take a day off or never miss a day. He will definitely be one to watch come training camp. Do you guys agree with this bold take that Nazeeh could beat out both Jalen Watson and Joshua Williams at camp for the starting role, despite missing out last season due to injury? Let me know either way in the comments down below. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those?